Hello, Crime Side listeners, and welcome back to the show. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Ricky.
Now, before we begin, we want to warn you that this episode contains discussions of sensitive topics, including abuse, which may be distressing or uncomfortable to some listeners. Please take care while listening. Your mental health is way more important. As Halloween approaches and the spooky season is in full swing, leaves are changing their colors, we thought it would be the perfect time to dive into one of the most controversial and notorious haunted attractions out there. This week, we're taking you inside McKamey Manor, a place that is known to be the most extreme haunted house experience. McKamey Manor has been pushing the limits since 2001, where it started out as an attraction in a backyard at a San Diego house, which was situated in a traditional neighborhood. At first, it started as your typical haunted house with jump scares and spooky music, and over time, it became more of an extreme haunt designed to mess with your mind. It became more of a psychological endurance test, which was reportedly pretty harsh. Then it became more of just plain abuse. We're talking broken bones, bloody faces, swollen lips, and not to mention intense psychological effects. In 2017, Russ McKamey moved McKamey Manor to Tennessee, where it was last known to be challenging thrill seekers who wanted to take a chance at Russ's twisted experience, where it wasn't nearly as abusive when it was in San Diego. It's controversial, it's intense, and it's definitely not for the faint-hearted. So, are you ready to enter into this one?
Honestly, this isn't really something I'd ever be interested in experiencing. But yeah, let's dive in. I'll learn about it. I'm just not doing it.
All right, Ricky's a little bit of a chicken. But once you agree and the doors close behind you, Russ McKamey uses his full control over the lucky participant, who is subjected to physical and psychological challenges, including being touched, grabbed, hit, thrown, smashed, held underwater, anything that just seems fitting to him. And according to the owner, Russ McKamey, it's all consensual. Before this all goes down, the participant signs a lengthy contract or agreement, which is more like a very detailed torture waiver. And although it includes a pretty disturbing list of rules, I guess you would say, it also has its fair share of typos. This particular House of Horrors, which is described as a torture chamber by some, was created in Russ McKamey's backyard in San Diego, California. McKamey is an interesting character, and he's got the looks to go with it, a cheesy Grinch-like grin. And that's not a compliment by any means, but what's interesting is he seems to have found a way to play out this sadistic fantasy of torturing people, and it seems to get progressively worse over time. Now, possibly this was all an exciting challenge for him also to see how far he could push the boundaries without facing legal consequences, fueled by a heavy dose of manipulation and his desire to control his chosen victims who willingly signed up to do the McKamey Manor tour and this unforgettable experience. And he seemed to always have a thing for this perfect participant, usually female, someone who was somewhat athletic, but also submissive. But he also enjoyed bringing on men who were once in the military. This really just seemed like a pattern based on who would be chosen to go through the tour. What's even more telling is Russ refers to guests entering the manor as victims. So he's well aware that he's doing something that's effed up. However, he reassures his victims that this is all just a game, this is all fun, and he even instructs them to tell the police, should they arrive, that this is all a part of a game.
Which honestly seems a little manipulative. And overall, he's a master manipulator.
Yeah, it seems like he is. He uses emotional manipulation and gaslighting to distort the reality of any participant who enters his tour. And he does this carefully to be able to play out these acts, which can actually harm someone mentally and physically. So, for instance, he subjected participants to extreme physical and psychological abuse, including water submersion that left one person feeling as though they were about to drown. Some were force-fed strange substances, including their own vomit. He also confined individuals in tight spaces, such as coffins, for extended periods of time. Can you imagine being locked inside of a coffin?
No. Not at all.
And he would do this for like hours. Keep them in there.
I would have a straight panic attack right away. I'd be using the safe word.
And people would be doing those things. And he would subject people to intense verbal degradation. And of course, disregarding safe words during the experience. So if someone was begging for this all to stop, if they were having a panic attack, it was like, well, no, you signed up for this. We're just getting started. And he would give this creepy grin and would downplay the abuse. Like he would create this false sense of trust and normalcy. Like this was all a part of his game, and would say things in almost a sexual, creepy tone. Like, it's not as bad as you think, or you're handling it so well. Like, honestly, like creepy like that. And he would also say things like, you're not even at the extreme part of the tour. This is just the kiddie tour, making the victim question their own perceptions and emotions. And sometimes he would be singing My Girl by The Temptations during some of the intense and unsettling moments in his haunt experiences, which would create a stark contrast with the PTSD-inducing experience of the haunt. And sometimes he would even strap people in straitjackets, wrap duct tape around their head, covering their eyes so they wouldn't be able to see anything. And he would also place very heavy chains on top of them. Sometimes they were gagged and they wouldn't be able to be heard to say, hey, I'm done. This is too much. Even though people would be begging for this to stop, Russ didn't stop. He just kept on going.
Honestly, I keep thinking back to the casket. Like, could you imagine being locked in a casket or being waterboarded for, I don't know how long, a long time, right? Like to the point that you feel like you're going to die. Like these are traumas that I feel would last a lifetime.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They would stick with you because this isn't just like an hour of like, okay, I know this is going to be over in an hour. It's like you don't know when this is going to be over. I've been begging for this to be done and it's not over. Like, am I actually going to die?
And you said this could be up to like 8 hours of torture. That's a lifetime of torture.
That's a whole work day. Like morning to you're clocking out to leave for work. Like that would just totally mess you up. Absolutely. And, you know, being locked in a casket like that, you're helpless. And he would chain you up. So it's like you couldn't even try to get out if you wanted to.
Right.
Sometimes your mouth would be covered. So it's like if you wanted to say a safe word or you wanted to, you just couldn't.
Well, you even flat out said that he would ignore the safe word.
Yeah.
Like they would say the safe word and he'd just keep going.
At the very beginning of this, he didn't have any safe words. There wasn't a safe word policy at all. Like, we don't do safe words.
Like, you signed up for this.
Yeah, but then at one point he did, but yeah, it's weird. There's no other haunted place like this, and anyone who owns a haunted house, similar, maybe a little bit similar to this, like kind of like extreme, they even think that Russ McKamey's McKamey Manor is just off the rails. Like, it's not.
Right.
It's not good. Like, it's not a good haunted house experience. He would often do lives on Facebook, and his followers would basically be a fan club for the participant. And it made them feel motivated in some way to keep going and not give up, giving them this feeling that, you know, if they quit, you're weak. Many of Russ's followers would be like, wow, she's a trooper, and cheer them on.
So the fact that he did live streams, it's interesting because part of it is like he's doing the live streams, like the adrenaline's pumping, he could be getting carried away, right? But then it's also good that there was a camera in an audience, because I feel like in the moment, like you could get carried away and do something horrible to the person, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that part of it is good, but it's also, I don't know, it makes it like a whole nother thing. Like you're definitely in this like vulnerable state. You're being tortured. You don't know how you're going to react. And then you have this like online audience and archive, right? Like this is something that's going to live on the internet. People are going to either laugh at it, cheer you on. Like I don't know, like it creates like a whole nother level having it all being live.
Yeah, and he didn't start the live at first. Like this was more like later on when he was doing this himself.
Mm-hmm.
So this wasn't in San Diego. This was like later on during his time with McKamey Manor. But I think he's still doing lives like every once in a while. And his Facebook is still active. He has thousands of followers and thousands of people who love him. He basically has a cult. People, he could say anything and people are like, yes, I love you, Russ. You're the best.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's really weird to see, actually.
So one question I have, I saw like the promo videos and stuff that they were shot pretty well, but I never saw one of the live videos. Was this something that he shot with a cell phone, or does he have like a camera crew and production? What was that like?
He had a camera crew at first. During his time in San Diego, when he had the McKamey Manor there, he would have like a full-on team. He would have actors, actresses, a camera crew. He would have his own camera. And then once things started to get worse for him and he started to get more like exposure, things started to get bad, he hit the brakes on like the torture thing. And he started doing things more himself. He got rid of the actors and it was just like him with his camera.
Right. So I know we're going to talk about it later, and you personally told me this, that he wasn't making like a lot of money. Like this seems like something that he could be monetizing from. And then he has a production crew. He has to create, you know, these different, I don't know, experiments or tortures, whatever you want to call them. Like, how did he fund this all?
Yeah. And we are going to talk about it, but it is strange because he put so much into this.
Yeah.
This is his life.
Right.
Like this is like how we do the podcast. Like this is like his entire week, his entire everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like he puts his love into this.
Right.
But he has a couple odd jobs here and there, and then also like past relationships also help funded this big dream he had.
Right. I don't know. I guess the way I'm seeing it is he must have really loved doing this. Like you said, you think he got pleasure out of doing this to people. I mean, you have YouTube and TikTok and everything else where people do stupid stuff. Like they drink a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, or they eat something really disgusting, right? But it's like for money. Like this isn't for money. So it's like, what is he getting out of it?
Honestly, I really think it's a fetish.
Maybe.
Like 100%. I feel like this is like a whole fetish thing that just come unglued.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets worse, like progressively worse as like time goes on. And it's still, I mean, he's still active. He's still doing these things, apparently.
It's Halloween right now. Like he's doing this right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
And on top of all of this, in these videos that he does, Russ, he would go to great lengths to continue to control the narrative when people would be done with their tour. He would tell the participant what they can and can't say about their experience in the exit video, which he would also post online. So this would be posted on YouTube, and then he also attached these YouTube videos onto his website and things like that. And he insists that they leave out the secrets so that all of the surprises aren't spoiled for the next participant. Now, these videos would be somewhat around an hour long, However, he would have this participant at his convenience at like 7-8 hours.
Wow. So the stuff that's making its way to the public is just a tiny bit of what actually went on.
Yeah.
And he gets to pick and choose what he shows too.
Yes, exactly.
But were they live streaming the entire 8 hours, or how did that work?
I'm not really sure. I have never seen a live stream.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, who knows? It could be. It could be like some kind of like group thing because he has a lot of followers. People love him.
Right.
Now, like this exit video that we're talking about, it would show this person, this participant, this victim in obvious stress and a complete sheer contrast from when they started. And you can tell that some of the participants went through more physical beatings than others. Some would be soaking wet. Some were covered in blood, swollen lips and cheeks. And they usually had a shaved head, chopped up hair. However, most seemed to really downplay everything that was done to them. And this was a demand from Russ. This serves as proof that the participants who went through the disturbing acts, they're okay. They survived. Some were even smiling, giving off the impression that everything appeared consensual. And this was an experience that they would never forget.
I don't think they will forget.
This is also evidence to anyone curious about Russ and McKamey Manor, raising the debate over the controversial treatments of its participants. Some viewers believe this is all real, while others think that this is staged or fake with possible paid actors or actresses. There are those who find his videos disturbingly fascinating, or maybe even get off to it, while others watch in disbelief or fear at what happens under Russ's control. Still, some see it as a challenge with this desire to push their own limits and see how far they can go in a torturous situation, which may be weird to some, but there's a whole community, like we said, who loves haunted things and pushing the limits. But the controversial topic surrounding McKamey Manor is this really right? Is this really legal?
Yeah, I feel like it's such a gray area.
Yeah, I mean, despite what they've endured, many participants agree and state Russ is saying, you really don't want to do this. But in the end, some even thank Russ for giving them this experience that they'll never forget.
I think what it comes down to, though, is this type of abuse has to be illegal. Like, this goes against basic human rights. Okay, there's this giant contract that lists all these things that could happen to them and they're not liable for. But I think when it comes down to it, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but I feel like there's a case here. Like, this can't be legal, even if you're willing to have this done to you or agree to it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll feel this shame if they say that they signed this waiver, they were warned, and then they went to go do it. And maybe they're kind of like into the submissive thing, but they didn't expect it to be this extreme. You know, it could just be like a shame thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, the very beginning, as we mentioned, McKamey Manor wasn't as extreme. It was a pretty standard haunt where you would walk through this dimly lit maze, not knowing what would jump at you or when. Spooky sound effects, a fog that would make the flickering lights glow, fake snakes and skeletons that would hang from the ceiling, that sort of thing. Completely harmless. It was family friendly. It was even featured in local newspapers and the local news as safe, a fun Halloween attraction where kids and parents would walk through. And back then, Russ McKamey, the creator, was seen as this friendly, harmless, full of personality kind of guy who had a love for all things Halloween, like obsessed. As a kid, he would set up pranks and scares for the other neighborhood kids. And while he was in high school, he was in theater, doing the same kind of thing, organizing little haunted houses with a budget of $0.
So yeah, I mean, pretty innocent, but he's always had a thing for scaring people.
Yeah, and even when he joined the Navy, he kept this tradition going. According to Russ, he would set up fright sessions for other sailors during this time while he was on the Navy ship. But that's just the beginning of the story. And it seems as time went on, McKamey Manor would eventually become something far more extreme, which escalated at a disturbing level of torture, really. But it all started with a little spooky fun.
You know what's interesting is you said he was in the Navy, but he liked to target men who were in the military.
Mm-hmm.
The waterboarding and that type of stuff. I wonder if these were like military-esque.
I think it was. I was kind of getting that feeling too.
Right.
Born on January 28th, 1959 in Fullerton, California, is when Russ Allen McKamey's life began. His parents, Joan and Russ McKamey, were originally from Nebraska. His father, Ross, moved the family to the Golden Coast of California. But by 1971, after 17 years, Joan and Ross divorced, leaving 12-year-old Russ living with his mother. However, he still maintained a pretty solid relationship with his father. So he grew up pretty normal. He always had an interest in Halloween, and his dad was the one who got him interested in it. After graduating high school, Russ went to the Navy, following similar footsteps as his father, who served in the Marine Corps. Sometime in 1993, while Russ was still serving in the U.S. Navy, he moved to San Diego, California, and got a house on Almazan Street. This was the beginning of McKamey Manor. A year after the move to San Diego, Russ married his girlfriend Linda Sargent in Las Vegas, and together they soon had a daughter named Lindsay. The marriage lasted only a few years, and in the early 2000s, they separated. Around this time, he had retired from the Navy and met up with an old friend, Carol Schultz. Carol would become his new girlfriend/business partner and brought on to the next level of McKamey Manor, earning its reputation for being the area's scariest haunt, which was soon rated by some to be the scariest in the world. And Carol, who was living with Russ, was there to support him along the way, financially, and even giving him a few tips legally. And she was there as a solid supporter of his big dreams. Russ changed up the haunt, hoping to stand out from his competitors. Around this time is when the level of terror went up a notch by adding physical and psychological factors into his experience. Regardless of the thousands of dollars that he put into this new haunted attraction, the price to pay remained the same to enter the McKamey Manor, which was a bag or a few cans of dog food that would be donated to a greyhound rescue.
So how did he fund this whole operation?
Well, he was a wedding singer and a DJ, and he also retired from the Navy, so he's getting some money from that, and he was working for the VFW. And Carol, he would help him out financially as well, so he was getting money from her. And in one interview closer to the beginning of creating this manor, he said that he spent about $30,000 to get started.
Okay, so that makes sense. He retired from the Navy. I forgot about that. I guess the biggest question to me now is, why not monetize it?
It just seemed like this extreme hobby, really. And maybe this was just a way to live out some of his dark fantasies because, yeah, he wasn't making any money from it at the time and putting loads of money in it.
Right. Did it have anything to do with legal? Like by not charging actual money? Was it like a loophole? Or like, I just can't wrap my head around. If I had something that everyone wanted to do, I'd be charging thousands of dollars.
Or like $10 a person. Or like, like something just to get in.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this blew up. This is the scariest haunt in the world.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this was some kind of loophole that he had where he just was trying to dodge legal consequences, make it free, and you just have to bring in some dog food, which is, I mean, a bag of dog food is expensive, but it's just getting donated. It's not like he's profiting from it.
So they actually have to show up with a 50-pound bag of dog food?
Yeah.
Oh.
And during a visitor's experience, he was so fixed on getting this video footage of each of his victims. Specifically, he loved to get the shot of his victims up and close where he could see the fear in their eyes as they begged for this all to stop. And they wanted this to be over, but it's like he was getting off to this or something, capturing the fear that glistened in their eyes as they were begging for this to stop.
But at the same time, this is what they asked for.
To an extent, I believe. I mean, there were some instances where people felt like they were going to die.
Oh, like he pushed the limits.
Yeah. Like,
so much more than they even expected.
People were being submerged in water and felt like they were going to drown.
Wow.
Like to the point where it was like not, you know. And in the military, I believe I saw something where they even get waterboarded during training for like 14 seconds is the average. And he would even like try to push that. But like these are just like everyday people. Like they're not in the military, you know, some of them.
Right. Wow.
And like you said, the videos that he would be posting on YouTube, it's not like he was making any money off of them anyway, because YouTube, as we know, has a very strict policy. There's no way that ads would be being played on his videos.
Yeah, you're right.
On top of that, I don't really know how anyone could just sit there and like watch through his series of YouTube videos of people being tortured. Like, I know I couldn't. I tried to kind of like go through, like skim through, but I could barely get through one video.
Yeah, but like you said, this is a cult following type thing. This isn't, you know, the masses. This is like a small group who are probably obsessed with this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the ones who would want to put themselves through that, that's got to be something that they, you know what I mean? Like these aren't your normal, like, I'm a nurse and I want to go try this.
You could try the little haunted maze over there in town, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most haunted houses scare the shit out of me and they're not even allowed to touch you.
Do you want to go to one?
No, I actually don't. It's terrifying.
So like we said, he would put thousands of dollars into the McKamey Manor. And in a later interview, as things progressed, he claims with confidence that he probably has spent over $500,000 or more throughout the years. And this would include some of Carol's money and his entire life savings. And every time they do a haunt, it costs money to run. But still, they don't charge anything to get in, just some dog food that they donate.
So how do you even sign up for this? Can anybody do it? Or is it like he selects like a select few that he approves? Like, how does that go?
Well, apparently Russ claims that there is a huge waiting list of like 17 to 20,000 people on this waiting list. And they're all just begging for a challenge. Like they're all just waiting to get in, which, I mean, maybe some are kind of because they know this waiting list exists, but he just like creates like this high demand, you know.
Is there an application process? Like, do you have to have a picture and a background and all of this different stuff?
You go on his website, McKameymanor.com, if you're interested, Ricky.
I'm not, but okay.
And Russ, he would typically talk to these people, the selected ones, over Skype, and he would ask them what they're most scared of. So they would do like this interview process, like, tell me some things that you're scared of, like what's your biggest fears? And these things would be added into their experience. So like if you're scared of spiders or water or anything like that, he's like, okay, interesting, got you. Now, regardless of how many people were actually in line to get into his house of terror, some would jump into the front of the line, it seems. So it was kind of selective. And he would have them sign this lengthy 20-page long agreement, basically saying that Russ or any of the actors or actresses can do anything to you and you can't do anything about it legally. And the grand prize, if you complete 10 hours of terror. Do you want to take a wild guess?
Lifetime supply of dog food.
No. $20,000.
$20,000. Did anyone win?
No. But there's a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, I could use that $20,000. I have so much debt right now. Like, I'm going to do this. And, I was in the military once. Like, heck yeah, I'm going to win this 20 grand.
What's weird is this isn't like a set thing. So I feel like if they were getting close to winning, he could just like turn it up a notch.
Yeah, turn it up a notch. Or he just completely stopped it. He'd be like, okay, we're just stopping it here. This is it. Like, usually he would stop it around like 8 hours and be like, for safety reasons, we're not going to continue. And they'd be like, okay.
Oh, but they were fine.
Like some were okay. They're like,
oh, I'm not losing that 20 grand.
No, I'm here for that 20 grand and now you're going to cut it off. Okay. But yeah, no one won it. And I mean, he wasn't making any money from this. It kind of feels like there's no 20 grand. That was really.
It's like, if I give you 20 grand, I'll never financially recover. Tiger King.
And there would be other requirements, like watching a 2-hour movie called And Then There Were None, and undergoing a physical exam, completing a background check, and he would make sure that they would go through his 140 points or so on the waiver that explains he can't be sued if he does anything. And as far as the waiver, it's pretty disturbing, yet interesting as well. And let's go over a few points that popped out to me.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So we're skipping to point number 31. The participant agrees that if selected, they could be buried alive under 12 feet of dirt and rock, to which they will have a limited amount of air, and that they will have to figure out how to escape, and they could possibly breathe in a significant amount of dust, dirt, or foreign objects that may cause death. If a participant does not breathe properly or hold their breath at the right time,
it's their fault.
You could die.
How is that? Like, okay, for instance, when you do magic tricks, and I'm not going to sidetrack too much because we got to get through all these, but when you're doing magic or like escape type stuff like Houdini, right? Like, or even the stuff we would see on TV, it was regulated by professionals. Like, this is some dude in his backyard. Like, there has to be regulations on this stuff. And I'm assuming there's not, but why is there not?
Yeah. And listen to this one, number 33. Participant agrees that if selected, they will come in contact with a variety of live poisonous animals. It is that participant's responsibility not to panic or agitate the animals. If participant is bitten, it is because the participant made a sudden movement within a confined, secured environment.
What?
Don't move. If there's a spider crawling on your face, don't move, don't scream, don't do anything.
This is like some Bear Grylls stuff. This is like Fear Factor on crack.
I'm kind of thinking of like Home Alone whenever the tarantula goes onto that guy's face and he screams.
Right. Or like that thing comes down and smacks him on the head and like his hair is on fire.
This is like Home Alone, but like in real life.
Yeah.
Try to live through my torture chamber. Okay. And number 35, participant acknowledges and agrees to be submerged in 60 feet of open water. Participant acknowledges and agrees that their breathing apparatus will be removed and that it is the participant's responsibility to make their way to the surface on their own. If done incorrectly, there is a real chance of a participant drowning or receiving decompression sickness, the bends, which could cause permanent injury or even death.
Okay, what multi-million-dollar facility does he have that he has a 60-foot pool of water?
Maybe like a lake or something, but he never actually does this. He never takes anybody in 60 feet of open water.
I don't think he has access to 60 feet of water.
So maybe like this waiver is to scare people. Like, these are the scary things that could happen to you, but really it's like this like torture chamber thing.
It's like a scare thing. I think it is. I think this is like a marketing thing because poisonous snakes, 12 foot under the ground. Like, you wouldn't be able to breathe. Like, what type of breathing apparatus do you even have to pump oxygen down that low?
Here's another water one. Point number 115. Participant agrees that if selected, they will have to swim 200 yards underwater in a makeshift sewer system with several obstacles and traps blocking their way. It is participants' responsibility to hold their breath while navigating the underwater maze.
How does he have access to something like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just make sure you donate to the dog shelter.
And Russ says it's all a part of the show, which, if you think of it, it's like his show.
It's almost like he is a magician.
He is.
Smoke and mirrors.
This manipulative magician.
There you go.
All right. So around the year of 2008 is when McKamey Manor really started to gain popularity. It started to get more severe, being that it was a standout from others. And it would all be done in his backyard in California, in a typical neighborhood where neighbors would hear hours of screaming coming from his property.
What? Did he have a lot of property, or is this like a smaller area?
This is like your traditional neighborhood, like a house is...
Like under an acre?
Yeah, like just a small little property, house, backyard, the neighbors right next door.
Right.
Like a bunch of houses are in the neighborhood. And like I mentioned, people would be begging to end this show. And Russ or the actors, they wouldn't stop because Russ didn't honor any safe word, and that included begging for the tour to end.
That's where I think it draws the line.
Yeah, I agree too, because, I mean, what kind of human would just continue to torture someone, or, you know, if they're like scared to death or they're like, I can't breathe.
Right.
Like they're just going to continue and video this whole thing and just...
Yeah. You're literally saying, like, you had an agreement and you're saying, I can't take anymore.
Like,
and
please stop, Russ, please stop. This needs to end. And
right.
he's like,
and then
we're just getting started.
And then to not honor that, though, like, that's insane.
Now, there's a lot of documentaries out there on this. One of the ones that I found was interesting that you should totally check out is called Haunters, The Art of the Scare. And a neighbor of Russ and Carol's who lives nearby was able to try out the McKamey Manor. And her house is located on top of the hill. When she looks down, she can see Russ's house. So that's how close they were. And she explained one day that she wanted to give it a try. She, you know, sees this house all the time. She knows McKamey Manor's there. And she would hear like these screams at night. You know, one day she's just like, let's go. Let me try it out. And the first time she went, she ended up escaping his property. She hopped over a fence, ran down the road, and Carol followed her in her car, found her hiding in the bushes, and tried to convince her to come back.
Wow.
And Carol would tell her she needed to finish the haunt. And there were 2 other times where Russ would proudly say that he tricked her into coming back to his house, back into his torture chamber, and he wanted to do this to get the shot. He explained that she would be in real intense fear, and he wanted to capture her in this panic and this fear. And he even locked her inside of a casket, and she begged to get let out. This poor woman and neighbor, named Grace, explained that she was traumatized for months after being inside of McKamey Manor.
I'm sure she was.
Another participant had a moment where, on camera, Russ told her that she was going to be swimming. However, instead, she was actually pepper sprayed in the eyes and water was poured over her head. This deceptive act highlights how Russ was more focused on capturing a dramatic reaction on camera than sticking to what he initially explained to his participants. And he would always have a guest do this exit video where it's believed he would make people say that it wasn't that bad. Even some would thank Russ and the actors. And it's crazy to think that one of these victims was covered in bruises, spent time in the ER after her experience at McKamey Manor. One in particular is a woman named Lori Brotherton. And here's a clip from her exit video.
Hey everyone, this is Laura Brotherton coming to you live from my hotel room after I just entered the McKamey Manor chamber. Wow. As you can see by the way I look, my lips, this is no joke, no laughing matter. For all of you that really want to do this, trust me, you don't. You do not want to do this. It's terrifying. It's so hard. I can't really explain what I went through, but let me tell you, it was crazy. I'm a little shaken up, so I'm having a hard time bringing myself to come to words. My face hurts pretty bad. I can't tell if my nose is broken, but you could see my lips. My tattoo got torn. My knee, if you can see it. This is so intense. Oh God. I really don't have much words to say right now, except for this was one of the most exhilarating experiences of my life. I will never forget it. I just want to say, Russ, Carol, Lindsay, Beth, Ryan, Mike, Christopher, Mr. Green, Mr. White, all of you so much that I love you dearly. And I so appreciate you allowing me this opportunity to get out what I needed to get out of this. For everyone, you really don't want to do this. Listen to me. You can look at me and see you don't want to do this. I need to kind of relax now and I need to clean up and figure out what the next step is. I love all you guys so much. Everyone that supported me, everyone that was there for me. But let me do say once again, I do hold the current record for the girls. 1 hour and 50 minutes. Marissa, I beat your time. Oh God, Jody, if you're watching this, don't do this. Please don't do this. For the rest of you, I love y'all so much. But, I gotta go. Peace. I love you.
This woman is completely busted up. Her nose, her lip, like her hair. I know you said earlier that they would shave their heads. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That alters their everything.
Yeah, and she even said that her tattoo was torn.
Wow.
It just seems like crazy. And she said, you don't want to do this. And her voice is like shaky and she's kind of like out of breath feeling. But at the end, she thanks them. So it's kind of weird. It's like, oh, like it's kind of confusing.
Well, it's almost like they had to.
Yeah.
But the fact that she's like, don't do this. I mean, she looked like a Barbie that was just like wrecked.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, oh my gosh. She had chunks out of her hair. Like her hair is a buzz cut with just patches here and there.
And she actually ended up in the ER.
Right.
After
And like,
her experience.
What would she even tell them? I signed up for this?
Yeah, and they were probably thinking this was some kind of like domestic abuse thing, but she just came out of this haunted house.
Right.
Now, there was another participant who I found very interesting, was a man named Jeremy M., and he's a Marine, and it looked like he had a hell of an experience as well. Once he got into his car and his tour was over, he was covered in blood. He had a fat lip. His head was shaved. His condition looked very similar to Lori's. And I couldn't watch the full torture video of what he actually went through, even though it was an hour long and he went through 7 or so hours of torture, because it just feels so wrong to watch. And it makes you question, how hasn't McKamey Manor been shut down after Lori, after Jeremy? Because what they went through is like full-on beatings, like full-on abuse.
I still don't understand why anybody would put themselves through this. But in that video in particular, he's saying yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Like everything was very proper while all of this was being done to him.
I'm kind of feeling like Russ was making him say those things, like, refer to me as sir.
Right, but he also comes from the military background, so it could have been that. But ultimately, no matter what, Russ had to have been loving that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And that's just like the disgusting part. You know he was getting off to this.
Yeah, he's in full control.
So here's a clip from Jeremy M. And he basically explains that he hopes Russ goes to jail and he hopes that he gets shut down.
Did you hold mine against my will? Well, going back to what I was saying when they were spraying stuff down my throat, smacking me in the stomach, and shocking me. My hands were zip tied. I was blindfolded. And my arms were down. I couldn't put them obviously to my side because they were zip tied together. But someone was sitting on my chest while they were forcing. Look, I don't have no idea what kind of food and drink into my mouth. But where was I being held against my will? I don't know. I'm gonna have to say yes, because if that's not being held against your will, I could not get up. This is after I said the safe phrase, by the way. Oh, everybody thinks, he lasted 44 minutes. Well, let me tell you about something. There's this little thing he likes during the waiver process. He jokes about it when he says it. He goes, you're going to wind down. We just can't stop right away unless you're dead. They keep on going. Yeah, 44 minutes is when they started the clock and stopped the clock. I was in that back of that van for over 2 hours. So, do they hold you against your will? Yeah, because I said the safe phrase after 44 fucking minutes.
Now, in this same video, Jeremy, he's saying all these bad things about Russ in McKamey Manor. And Russ is actually the one who posted this video and follows up downplaying and minimizing what this guy says about him. He even calls him a hater, which that's who he calls anyone who is against McKamey Manor or Russ. And he even explains how the police get calls from all over the globe regarding this controversial haunted attraction. And like Jeremy said, he and his actors have been getting some kind of fulfillment from this, whether it's the controlling nature, being in control of people's emotions and fear, pushing people to this near-death experience, or just plain enjoying watching people be terrorized, violated, and restrained while being tortured.
Yeah, I mean, it has to just be some sick fetish, like a control thing or something like that. I mean, I don't know. It could even come down to like fantasy type stuff. I mean, there's BDSM and stuff like that. And this is just like a whole nother level of it.
Yeah, it really does seem like that. Like this is his little playhouse where he can feel this dark fantasy and just get away with it because he has this waiver and people agree to it and people do this background check and people, want to do this thing.
Yeah. And
when the police come to his door, he just says, this is a haunted attraction. Like they agree to these things. Like I'm just doing this. This is all fun and games. This is all smoke and mirrors or smoking mirrors where, like a magician type thing.
Yeah, I mean, to him, it's just a giant game of some sort, like a game of cat and mouse.
And as the years went on with McKamey Manor, Russ would even state that he would always try to up the ante, make it better than last year. And that seems to be confirmed with another participant who received a text from Russ beforehand that she was going to be his guinea pig, like his test subject. And she explains on her YouTube channel, Gabs, that she was forced to wear a straitjacket with chains around her neck, blindfolded, and forced into a deep freezer filled with water and only a small gap of air so that she could breathe. And with that being said, it seemed that his creativity of scaring people tended to get more and more graphic and more disturbing, like making people throw up and duct taping people's mouths and chaining them up. And Russ seemed to just keep pushing the limits. Like, well, we got away with that. Let's see what we can do with this participant. And obviously, he has no care or feeling when it comes to the way others feel. And him and his team would basically beat the crap out of the participants, and people would use their safe word when it was allowed at the time. But it wouldn't end until Russ says that it's time to end. Previous participants would have panic attacks. One had an actual heart attack. And in the video that Russ shared, it's not known if this is true, but he claims that at least 2 people have died during a tour at McKamey Manor. And Russ admits everything he does is illegal and he just hasn't been caught yet. But they signed a contract and their death is on them because they didn't disclose that they had health conditions before entering the manor.
I'm not sure I believe that part. Maybe that's another scare tactic. But it makes me wonder, what are the police thinking? Like, what's going on? Like, are they suspicious of this guy? Do they just not have anything on him? Or is this looked at as, well, this is just an experience. This is a haunt.
I think that's what it is. And also we have to remember that Russ McKamey is a very manipulative person. Like, he is known to be very good at talking to people, at persuading people into things. And as far as the local law enforcement, they're getting calls continuously and they have to show up at his door, and he kind of just gives them the same explanation, like, this is a haunted experience, I'm here to just have fun and we're just doing these little things, where it's really not like that at all. Like, it's not a haunted thing at all. This is just complete torture and like beatings.
So this is just my opinion, but when I look at Russ, and I've watched videos of Russ, he doesn't look like a professional. He doesn't seem very well spoken. He doesn't seem knowledgeable, like, especially trusting like the medical side and stuff. To me, it's just some redneck doing experiments in his backyard. And I just don't know how that is allowed.
I don't know. There must be like some kind of gray area.
Yeah.
It's very, very strange how he hasn't been arrested or shut down yet.
It's just crazy because I guess it's different because he's not really collecting money. But like, you're not allowed to have a lemonade stand in your front yard. Right? You need permits.
Mm-hmm.
You need all of that type of stuff. You can't sell hot dogs. You can't do any of that stuff. You need health inspection and certifications and permits. Like, how is he doing this?
I don't know. It's hard to say because, like you said, he's not making any money from this. And the most important thing to him is getting that footage, recording people's reactions and their fear, and getting that on tape. And Carol has mentioned whenever she was with him, he would spend 24 hours editing these videos and just watching them and creating these videos to post online and things like that, like advertising this most extreme haunt. But he would leave out a lot of things that a lot of people weren't aware of. And that leads us to a popular YouTuber named Reckless Ben, who was actually a big part of exposing Russ McKamey and McKamey Manor through his and his team's multi-part YouTube series. Russ McKamey even did a video trying to scare off Reckless Ben by saying that his information on me is complete bogus. Reckless Ben worked his way into the infamous haunted attraction regardless, aiming to reveal the truth behind its extreme and often disturbing reputation. And also another YouTuber was brought into the scene, Danny Burke, who seemed to participate in the manor shortly after Ben. Ben got more of the tour compared to Danny. He went through more of the psychological part, where Danny went through basically a boot camp-like exercise in his front yard. And during this time, McKamey Manor wasn't in California anymore. It was in Tennessee. And it was nothing like the San Diego version. It was more doing strange things like wearing a onesie, carrying a large steel drum on his back with dog food inside. And this is one of the things that Reckless Ben did when he got a chance at McKamey Manor. But he also did things like use wooden clothespins all over his mouth and give him some goofy goggles to make everything turn upside down. And it was just more of a humiliation type of experience.
Almost like a hazing.
Yes, exactly. And his videos highlighted a number of inconsistencies in McKamey Manor's claims, like how there was this huge, long waiting list. and these extreme torture scenarios and physical challenges that never actually would happen during the visit, although he moved from San Diego to Tennessee, but he was just kind of exposing those kind of things. And I don't want to spoil any of the information that Ben has. You should totally check out his YouTube videos, Reckless Ben, if you want to dive into this story a little bit further.
So one question I did have is that it's now in Tennessee, and we'll get to why it's in Tennessee later. But now, was this just he didn't have the same resources as San Diego? Or was it always like smoke and mirrors and a bit of like marketing fluff?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like the big question mark. He didn't have like this giant lake of like 60 foot deep, but he would do like these videos of this woman being covered in water and pepper sprayed. So it's like,
right.
Was this almost like an illusion, but at the same time, it was like more torture? Like, we don't really know. It's kind of mysterious.
I'm still caught up on the 60-foot water thing in a comical sense. Think about it. That's like SeaWorld. I don't know how deep those tanks are, but that's like Shamu diving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, but he never had that. So it's like, what is true and what is not? And then if we just watch the videos that Russ is posting, like, they're pretty extreme. But then I think he uses it to like tell the police, like, this is all fake. Like, you know, we just like have actors who come in and we just mess around, and this is all just like fake video of someone getting like waterboarded.
Right.
But really it's not. But then actually it was. But then, you know, it's like kind of like this weird like mind game thing.
The torture that I saw at least didn't seem sophisticated. It was a lot of like smacking in the face, digging in their mouth, waterboarding, like the caskets, those types of things. It didn't seem sophisticated.
It seemed more of like a humiliation kind of thing, really.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're like this military guy who's getting like fingers stuffed in your mouth and being fed weird things, blindfolded and being smacked. It's like he's like into this like humiliation type thing.
But when you put in the numbers, he said he spent like $500,000 on these experiences. For what? It doesn't add up.
I think it was all about, you know, it's the same thing with the giant waiting list.
Yeah.
But anyway, Reckless Ben, he was out to get this missing hard drive that Russ had. It was missing. It wasn't in Russ's possession, and Russ was kind of going nuts. Like, oh my gosh, this hard drive of mine is out somewhere. Somebody has it. Someone's going to expose me. And that's where Reckless Ben was. He was doing these videos like, I'm going to find this hard drive and I'm going to expose him. Well, he eventually finds it.
I still don't understand how.
It was stolen from a friend, actually.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil the videos Ben and his team created. You should really check them out yourself if you want to dive into the story a bit further. I know that they put a lot of work and effort into their series, and it's worth a watch. I'll put the link in the description for you. Now, the videos, they gained significant attention and even contributed to a broader investigation into McKamey Manor as others began to come forward with their own experiences after Reckless Ben's exposing series grew popularity. His videos have resonated with many viewers who previously feared speaking out against Russ McKamey due to the extreme non-disclosure agreements that they were required to sign. But his videos focus around this lost hard drive of Russ's, where he goes on this hunt to find it and track it down, and basically he finds it and exposes him. The footage on the hard drive shows full videos of the participants instead of the cut versions that Russ would create and post on YouTube. And it was actually quite disturbing to know that some of these cuts that were left out were very abusive. Like at one time, Russ was holding a participant's neck and says something like, I got my hand around your little neck. Maybe I should squeeze a little bit more. Like very disturbing things.
Yeah, almost like sexual, like BDSM or sadistic sexual type stuff.
Not like a haunt type thing at all.
Yeah, like kind of blurring the lines with fetish. That was the vibe I got.
Me too. Yeah. And around that time, Carol, she just about had enough of Russ's shenanigans. And Russ met another woman named Holly, a much younger woman who at first was a big fan of McKamey Manor. She had seen his videos posted on YouTube, which are extremely disturbing and uncomfortable to watch. And she was working as an English teacher in Vietnam, and she got in contact with Russ. And soon she became his girlfriend. She wanted to be an actress at McKamey Manor. And that was the icing on the cake. Russ claims that Carol took everything he owned when actually she was funding his expensive sadistic hobby. This was a poor decision on Russ's part, as it left Carol with plenty to say about him and his so-called haunted attraction. She definitely had some things that she wanted to get off her chest. She mentioned that most of Russ's belongings were removed from their California property, and much of it was broken, trashed, or simply junk. The freezer that he would hold people underwater in was so gross and never cleaned. She explained that there was blood, vomit, urine, and whatever else inside of it, and these people would be forced to be submerged into it. So Russ made his move to Tennessee, where McKamey Manor was last known to be located. Once he relocated, he started charging participants to enter his playground. In the summer of 2017, Russ set up the latest version of McKamey Manor in Summertown, Tennessee. It's a very small area, technically not even considered a town, but an unincorporated community with fewer than 600 residents.
So California to Tennessee. I feel like that's a bit random. But do you think it was on purpose that he chose such a small place?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting to think.
It's definitely a way to stay under the radar.
Yeah, possibly. Now, he left California for a few reasons. We're not exactly sure 100% why, but the IRS had been knocking on his door at his previous location in California, and he owed them around $250,000 in taxes, which is possibly unrelated because he supposedly owes some sort of property tax on a barn that he owned.
Oh, so probably a little bit of tax evasion and breakup, just getting out of there.
Let's just get out of California. Let's just move to Tennessee. Yeah, I mean, it's not really clear. Nothing's really clear as to why. But on top of that, there was also pressure from the town. They just didn't want something like McKamey Manor in their area. Additionally, Russ had frequently claimed that he has a second location for McKamey Manor across the state line in Huntsville, Alabama. However, no one has ever seen it. There's no evidence that it exists. He often mentions this second location, reserving it for participants he deems worthy.
Oh, so no one was worthy of the Alabama location yet, I assume.
Apparently not. Now, with this new base in Tennessee and Russ's growing obsession and attempt to hide away from legal consequences, McKamey Manor really continued to gain attention. And he even made it clear that he was going to take it down a notch. And now that Carol was completely done with Russ, she started to bring up accusations of abuse that Russ has caused over the years. These were physical and verbal abuse claims that were fully supported by Russ's own daughter, Lindsay, who had cut off contact with her father when she was 13 years old due to his bizarre behavior. Beyond that, she also spoke out about the abuse that was reportedly happening inside McKamey Manor. And Carol wasn't letting him go down without a fight. She brought up allegations that involved Russ and his disturbing dreams. Russ would wake up in the middle of the night screaming about young boys and young girls, having dreams about this.
What?
Yeah. Now, as for the relationship involving Russ and his new young girlfriend, Holly, that relationship only lasted about 2 years. So in 2019, they split up, and she had a few things to say about Russ that really backed up everything Carol said about Russ. Holly would refer to Russ as a, quote, passive pedophile, meaning that he wasn't actually engaging in anything. However, he spoke of desires that were truly disturbing.
Wait, so back up. Young girlfriend. How old is Holly?
She was around 25 years old when they met.
And he's what, like 60, 65?
Yeah.
Wow, age gap.
Now, before everything came crashing down on Russ, Carol always stood by his side. She took the abuse. She believed in Russ and his dreams to hopefully one day have a successful haunted attraction and go pro. Carol was a legal assistant in the litigation department of a law firm. Her knowledge of the law and connections with lawyers may have assisted McKamey Manor in its early days when questions about its legality arose. But now I'm sure she's on her way to reveal all that was kept hush. And now that Holly jumped on to Carol's side, she expresses that she was a victim of physical and verbal abuse done by Russ. And she experienced a range of things, which included him choking her, biting her, denying her food, and even threatening to shoot her with a gun.
Oh my God.
Okay, get down.
Oh my God. No, Russ.
Stop.
Please, please.
Seriously, you need to stop. There's a cage right in front of you. Get in there right now. There's the door. There's the entrance right there. Yes. Get in there. Honey, get in there. What'd I tell you? I'm not going to tell. No. Stop.
Please.
Get your hand. I will tie your hands to your side.
No.
Then you better stop it then. Get in there right now. Put your head down. Get your head down. Honey, get your head down and get in there. There, you're starting it. Now, hold on. Let me check the time. Hold on. Let me check the time. You got to go in there until you absolutely cannot do it anymore.
Please, I can't. No. No. No.
Honey, you didn't do anything. Get in there.
No.
Get in there right now. Get in there. Go.
I can't. I don't know where I am.
I know. You have to find out where to go.
Oh.
That's the whole idea. Go. It's 4:56. Go. You said you could go an hour. Go. Go. Get your butt in there.
God.
Come on. You wanted to try it. Now get in there and try it. Come on. Be an athlete. Come on. Come on.
I quit. I quit. Stop it. No.
Oh my God.
Stop it. Okay, this is as far as I can get. Seriously. No.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
No. No. Okay.
That's all you can do? That's it?
This is it.
You went 2 feet, that's it?
That's it, 2 feet. I quit. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I know. I'm pathetic. I can't do this. Can't do this.
Oh, honey. Don't quit. Come on.
No, Russ, that water freaks me out. You know that. I hate you. Oh, please.
Come on. Go.
Oh, Russ, please.
Go.
Please.
Go.
Please.
Come this way. Come on. Try. I won't need water on you. I promise. Go. No water. Just no water. Go. Just come on. Fight your fears. Come on. Don't just be a fear fighter where you just die here. Go do it. Get that mask back down and go.
Russ, please.
Let's go. Get going. Conquer your fears. Come on. See, we wouldn't allow this. We had that mask down and you'd be getting waterboard, drinking that stuff.
Oh my God.
But see, you're not doing that. Now just go. Come on, go. Imagine how hard it is when you got all the water pouring in your face and stuff.
It sucks.
Tomorrow. You're about beat already. Come on, Tuppy.
Okay.
Go.
So McKamey Manor, as we've said, gained significant notoriety from its appearance on a Netflix show called Dark Tourist. And it was also featured in a documentary called Haunters. And most recently on Hulu, which they released a documentary titled Monster Inside America's Most Extreme Haunted House. Local law enforcement, they were well aware of Russ McKamey, but they never had any proof to do anything about him. And police would get a number of reports due to concerns raised by neighbors and others regarding the extreme nature of his haunted attraction, while McKamey Manor was in San Diego, California.
Well, many of them reported screaming and things like that in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, how alarming.
Yeah, thinking there's like this abduction going on or some kind of, I mean, that'd be scary. You're trying to sleep and there's like screams happening next door.
Right.
Now, despite these visits, McKamey Manor operated within legal limits. As participants, they signed this extensive waiver acknowledging the risks that were involved. The local police would even warn Russ to watch his back because there were people out to get him. And Russ referred to these people as haters. And there were a handful of haters who were trying to shut him down. And what was happening in his torture chamber was all consensual, and a lot would be posted on YouTube. And this was all described as smoke and mirrors, as we mentioned.
So I remember one of the things you explained to me was a guy who was essentially dragged by chains being pulled by a car. Like, how is that smoke and mirrors, though?
Yeah, he was bloodied. Like, he was completely covered in blood, being dragged on gravel.
Yeah.
How can you even fake that? This was all caught on camera, and this was posted on YouTube, but some way it just kind of slipped through the cracks. Like, the police were like, well, there's nothing we can do.
Right.
And then after that, he actually dumped him into the dirty water, into that deep freezer, which contained blood and vomit, all these different things, which
infection.
He could have gotten an infection, which is crazy. And authorities, they never showed any interest in doing anything about it, even when Reckless Ben, the YouTuber, tried to break the silence, bringing this hard drive to the authorities, and they didn't even care to even acknowledge it or do anything about it. Now, most recent news relating to Russ McKamey, he was arrested in July of 2024, and he was facing charges, according to court documents, for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend. He was accused of trying to kill his girlfriend by strangulation on more than one occasion. And at the time, he's at the age of 65 years old. He was arrested and charged with domestic assault against his 25-year-old girlfriend. 2 days after the initial arrest, the charges were updated to include attempted second-degree murder and rape, with the bond going from $1,000 to $100,000.
That seems pretty serious.
Yeah. And Russ, he was able to post the bond, but was ordered to have no contact with his girlfriend. And then there was nothing. All the charges were dropped.
Smoke and mirrors.
Exactly. Now, the district attorney apparently reviewed the evidence and decided not to prosecute. I guess they found that the evidence against Russ mainly was not enough to prosecute, so everything was dropped, and Russ responded by posting a video of him singing.
Sweet Caroline. Bum, bum, bum.
He also made a post on Facebook that said he's all dressed up, nowhere to go. It's good to see that the system actually is working. Much support to our law enforcement community. However, he was advised by his legal team to take down this post because, However, another post that remains on his personal Facebook page states, quote, "Today, after 2 months of hell, the state voluntarily dismissed all charges against me, including domestic assault, rape, and 2 counts of attempted second-degree manslaughter. I am grateful to District Attorney General Brent Cooper, who has spent his entire 24-year career as a prosecutor, the last 14 of which he has been the elected district attorney for this district. He personally handled the case and, after considering everything my attorney presented to him, decided there was nothing to prosecute." Unquote.
Now you see me, now you don't. Houdini.
Now, Now, there's people who follow Russ McKamey and who are in love with him. They share comments like how this girlfriend was just a total setup from the beginning and tried to take him down, which is kind of interesting. Now, if you don't agree with Russ McKamey, there is a change.org petition that you can sign if you want help to support their petition to shut down McKamey Manor. Last time I checked, there was 193,068 signatures, and they need 6,932 more to reach their next goal of 200,000.
But if you do support him, you can sign up on McKameyManor.com and have yourself an experience.
Yeah, you totally can, because his website is still up and ready to take on more participants. At this point, it's believed that he's still continuing McKamey Manor. However, there's no actors, there's just Russ, and he has no haunted things. It's just Russ messing with you and torturing you, basically in his yard. He covers you in paint, covers your face in wooden clothespins, and he uses a paintball gun to shoot at you and basically just humiliates you doing Facebook Live videos. And many people, they still love Russ. They follow him like a cult leader. Anything he does or says, they're like, yes, sir, I totally agree with you. I love what you're posting. Keep it up. It's kind of weird, but I mean, to each his own.
Houdini.
But for the most part, he's living a pretty normal life, I guess you can say. He's working at Walmart as a cashier. And if you're interested in learning more about his story or the victims who experienced McKamey Manor, you should totally check out one of the documentaries that we already mentioned. I know that the Hulu documentary is the most recent one, called Monster Inside America's Most Extreme Haunted House. That came out in 2023. And there, they share past participants of the show. You can hear their side of the story, which is really interesting. But I guess from here on out, we will see where this story goes next.
Also, there is an infinite rabbit hole on YouTube. So
much. This could be a whole podcast by itself.
Oh, for sure. So watch the documentary. Go down a rabbit hole on YouTube. I mean,
let us know what you think.
Yeah.
I know we probably left out a couple things here or there, but I mean, this is pretty much like the gist of McKamey Manor and Russ McKamey and the whole shit show that goes on.
I'm curious what you guys think, though. I mean, is this a crime? Is this a gray area? Is this fine? I don't know.
I feel like it's a total fetish that's just kind of like went a little extreme.
I do too.
Like he kind of got like this high ego and he's like, look what I can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of weird that he's still continuing to do this. It's like, look at me, all you haters. Like, I'm still doing it. What are you going to do about it?
I can say, though, that if there are people out there who have gone through these experiences with Russ, speak up, right? If stuff happened that we don't know about that is just awful, right? Take this dude down. Like, don't let him continue to do this to other people.
There's no shame in that. I 100% agree.
Do you want to go to a haunted house?
Kind of do, but maybe not this extreme.
I want to go to one that they can't touch you.
Yeah. I want to go to one where I just like get like a little boo haunt. Like I'm not into like the whole...
Do you say boo haunt?
I don't know. I've been hearing that this whole entire time I've been researching this case. Boo haunt.
I've never heard that. Wow.
That's what people are saying. Like a little boo haunt.
I like that.
But yeah, share Crime Salad with a friend so that others can get a healthy portion of true crime.
Also, make sure to support us on Patreon. So ads suck, we know. It's pay $1 and you can have ad-free listening.
Absolutely.
Also, 5-star review. I mean, that's not too much to ask for.
Also, happy Halloween.
Happy
Can
Halloween.
I put the Christmas tree up yet? Like, I just want to put it up now.
Here's the loophole. We put up the Christmas tree, right? But we put Halloween decorations on the tree.
I don't have any like that, though.
Let's buy some. Open up Amazon. I know you're really good at that.
I'm really good at what?
Opening up Amazon?
We get packages daily. So we just got this fence put up and we have a gate on it, but mysteriously it'll be opened randomly and then there'll be a package on our back porch. And I'm like, so they're just like entering through the back porch now and opening the gate.
Also, I tried to DIY the back fence. Like we did like a vinyl fence, like legit, like dug 3-foot holes, 2 bags of concrete per hole. That shit is so crooked. It was so much harder than I thought it would ever be.
I think it's beautiful.
I want to tear it down so bad.
I don't.
Every day I drive in and I'm like, it's like rolling green acres of hills up and down, like through the posts. It's
People probably talk about it when they drive, like, look at this fence.
I know, and we live in my hometown now too, so it's like everybody sees it.
I think it's perfect. I actually love it. I love every little bump.
I worked so hard.
I know, and that's why I love it. It's just so special to me. And we got a couple bushes to hide it, so once those grow in a couple years, you won't even see it.
Right, 25-foot bushes.
But the main thing is it protects our little guy and our 4 crazy dogs. They have like a little oasis in the backyard.
I agree.
Like there's like 100 kicking balls back there.
Plus the fence is high enough that no one can see me. I'm like doing sprints in the backyard, karaoke, not singing, but like
Karaoke dance?
Yeah.
Line dancing?
I'm line dancing in the backyard.
Try not to step on any of the dog poop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a game we play.
Yeah. Try not to step on it and scoop it up. We go poop hunting too with my toddler. So it's like, Mom, I found one. And I run over there and scoop it up. And it's like we go like poop hunting once a day.
It's a good game. Houdini.
But yeah, until next time.
Until next time.
See you later, alligator.